see if I can come down here, but it is, I believe, owned by the state now, but I will just see if I can do a looky-loo real quick without getting in trouble. There's the old chapel. This is the back of Hope Hall. I will see if I can get the front, but I doubt it. And I don't have my old computer that has my old pictures when I was inside. Oh, the windows are busted out. That's sad.
In my last video, I took you on a walk around the Sutton Wildlife Area, which contained Hospital Lake that was created in the 1930s as a food source for the local mental hospital. So I thought I would pop by the old mental hospital since I was close by to take a quick look around. If you've ever been in Norman, you've probably driven by Griffin Memorial. For some reason, when I turned to drive down there, my phone decided to go into slow motion. I apologize for the quality of this video. I was saying many years ago, a friend of a friend allowed us in the buildings a couple of times, and if I had my old laptop, I would show you pictures from inside that I took, but I don't. You can find videos of the inside on YouTube if you do a search. I thought the coolest areas of the building were the old operating room and the former dental clinic that still had equipment. Historically, the facility began as Highgate College, a girls' school established in 1890. After several transitions, it became the Central State Hospital in 1915 and was later renamed Griffin Memorial Hospital in 1953. The property is owned by the state of Oklahoma, and plans are underway to move services from Griffin Memorial Hospital to a new $147 million mental health facility being constructed in Oklahoma City. Sadly, I fear one day when the state sells the land and all these buildings will eventually be torn down and more history will be lost.
Sad. They're eventually going to tear them down. There's a lot of history. Someone tried to catch that church on fire once, and it didn't burn.
After leaving Griffin Memorial, I headed to my next destination related to the old mental hospital. On April 13, 1918, a devastating fire broke out at the Oklahoma State Hospital, resulting in the deaths of 40 patients.
So why did I come to the Iowa Cemetery? I came to pay my respects. This is a mass grave. There's 39 people buried here. To honor and memorialize these men tragically lost to a fire on April 13, 1918. May their lives and the meaning of their lives not be forgotten.
The blaze began around 3:45 a.m. in Ward 14, and the flames quickly spread to adjacent Ward 13 and 16. Despite the efforts by staff to evacuate patients, many were smothered by smoke and flames as they laid in their beds. Most of the victims were under the age of 20. Out of 48 patients, 38 men and boys from Ward 14 perished in the fire. All three wooden structures were described as fire traps and burned like matches in less than 30 minutes. To this date, the cause of the fire remains unknown. After the fire, it became known that legislature had delayed construction of fireproof buildings pending $80,000 in funding, which had already been approved in March of 1917. That makes me think that the chapel on site must have been built after the fire. If you'll remember earlier in this video, I mentioned that someone tried to burn the chapel down and it did not burn. Sadly for these unfortunate souls, that was not the case. In the smoldering aftermath, 39 unidentified victims were buried in a mass grave in the northeastern part of the IOOF cemetery. For nearly a century, the exact location of this grave remained unknown. In 2014, efforts by then Deputy Fire Chief Jim Bailey and the Oklahoma Archaeological Survey at the University of Oklahoma led to the discovery of the grave site. A memorial service was held in 2015 to honor the victims, providing long overdue recognition of this tragedy and dedicating the monument in their honor. There was only one victim not laid to rest in the mass grave. Charles Haville identified his brother Ona, taking custody of his remains for burial at Independence Cemetery in Norman, according to Find a Grave. Ona was only 32 years old at the time of his death. How fitting. There's a siren. Never a dull moment when you're trying to record. And it is a fire truck. People were aware of the mass grave for a long time, but they weren't sure where it was located. They finally used the help of the University of Oklahoma Archaeology Department, and they were able to locate this and confirm they believe this is where the mass grave was for the 39 victims of the fire of 1918. This mass grave is a tragic reminder that life can change in an instant. Don't take your days for granted. Like my daddy always said, every day above ground is a good day. I hope you enjoyed this little adventure today. I know it wasn't super exciting, but I thought I'd bring you along. I appreciate you being here. Until next time, bye for now.